Pardon me?
Did you go out to Biden hard enough tonight?
Well, I think we made the distinction. Joe voted for the war in Iraq, which turned out to be one of the great foreign policy disasters in the history of this country. Joe has voted for terrible trade agreements, NAFTA and PNTR with China, which cost us millions of good-paying jobs. Joe voted for the bailout of Wall Street. Joe voted for a very bad bankruptcy bill. I opposed all of those initiatives. And I think it's not only the voting record, I think it's my vision for the future. I am prepared to stand with the working class of this country and take on the greed and corruption of the corporate elite.
We need to think about humanitarian relief. We need to open up temporary protected. People tease me, I know, about all the plans. But I have two things to say about that. First, you want to get something done, I think you ought to have a plan. But there's a second part. When you get out and run on something, you make it real clear. And when we win, it's a whole lot easier then to turn around to your own party and say, guys, that was the deal. That's why we got elected. So now we're going to get out there together and we're going to pass this. We're not going to nibble around the edges. We're going to make big structural change.
Thank you.
Look, I respect Vice President Biden. Worked with him, have known him for years. I think that, obviously he has tremendous experience. He's a fantastic candidate, but he and I do have a disagreement about how to do health care. We do have a disagreement on immigration. This is a debate, so, we're going to point out those differences in a debate. And what I can say is that I'm ready to debate when we go. And so when I go up against Donald Trump in October of 2020, you better believe that I'm going to be ready for Trump, and I'm going to beat him.
We had the $3 check, a $3 box, but because we see a fight that we all must be a part of, and I believe I'm the best person.
I'm running because I think I'm the best person to take on Donald Trump. I think I'm better than Joe Biden, or else I wouldn't be in this race.
What's your strategy? What about Joe Biden?
How will you call Nicolas Maduro?
He's a dictator. It is the sensational killings that we saw in Sutherland Springs and Santa Fe High School, El Paso, Midland, and Odessa, but it's the killings one or two at a time. Cory Booker talked about this, that are so numbingly common, they don't even make the news. And so beyond background checks, we need red flag laws. Beyond red flag laws, we need an end to the sale of weapons of war. And beyond that, we need to buy those back where they exist and have mandatory licensing and gun registration.
Do you think stability is a good tactic?
Right here, man.
Your attacks on people of faith.
Actually, we're headed over here. Thank you.
So people have asked me, well, is he responsible for what happened in El Paso? And I said, no, of course not. I mean, he didn't pull the trigger. But he's certainly been tweeting out the ammunition. Because when you have the President of the United States and the voice that she has when used appropriately, it should be a voice that is about lifting people up, not beating them down. We've not seen that in this process.
I feel great. Well, I think that the American people recognize when you're being yourself and having a good time and when you're faking it. And in my case, I'm genuinely having a good time. So if that comes across to people, I think that's very positive. Because I'm genuinely having a good time. I don't know if you can tell. Like, I'm actually enjoying myself.
You're having.